Welcome to the only venue in Formula 1 where you're going to get a race under the night sky with Psycho Enigma. We're in the Mercedes and we're 9th on the grid for Singapore. Qualifying was a shambles. That's all I'm going to say about it. The car was awful. So I get the feeling this race isn't really going to go much better. Aim is beat Grosjean. Maybe. The setup worked well. In practice, it was very, very good in practice. We got topped the time sheets by like 3/4 of a second. It came to qualifying, and it was all like, "Oh, you want grip, do you? Doop 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 doop." Nothing. That was it, really. But I want to beat Grosjean, who's 5th. I would love to claw points off the Red Bulls. Love to. But we need to overtake Vettel and Webber to do that. And they're both 1st and 2nd on the grid. So I'm fairly confident that's not actually going to happen. But we'll see where we end up, really. It's a 15-lap race. We're on very used option tyres. Because I did a lot of laps in Q3. I didn't think to change them, which was silly of me. There's Grosjean, our rival. Schumacher, our teammate, in 6th on the grid. I'm 9th. So Schumacher's alongside Grosjean. We're behind Perez, Hamilton and Alonso is to our left. I think my aim is to get across to the left and stick the car down the inside. Actually no, we could carry on the outside. Grosjean's gone out wide. Raikkonen's trying to get in amongst the Red Bulls. And we've again, our forte every weekend. Great start. We're trying to go around Kimi Raikkonen and we've managed it. So here we go. We're slipstreaming Mark Webber. Webber's gone defensive. I'm still going for it. Danny's inside and we're there. We have passed Mark Webber up into 2nd place. Look, the front end just not going where I want it to go. But now is the mission. Now is the task. Let's catch Sebastian Vettel. This track's horrible. All I have to say is it's horrible and the curbs are unforgiving. I love to attack the curbs on racetracks, and these ones are just unforgiving. I feel as if I'm going to lose a lot of time on my potential lap times because I can't go after the curbs. And the car is very slow in the final sector. My aim really was to get a good place as quick as possible and then defend it for the remainder of the race. See, look, Vettel has just charged off. He's gone. In my opinion, Vettel is gone. This is where we are going to hope to be. I don't know if there's going to be potential later in the race to jump him. It's too early to tell. So we've got Webber right behind us, and I'm fairly sure that's Raikkonen just up behind him in the Lotus Renault. It is. Raikkonen is all over Mark Webber. He's going to try and get through. I'd say next lap he's going to get a great shot with DRS. We've run it a bit deep, but one of our wheels was on the curb and it unsettled us. See, look, a slight tap on the curb with one of my back wheels and the back end tried to come round. So difficult to keep the car planted. This is just the one street circuit, because I don't like street circuits. That's, as you can tell me with what I'm saying, I don't like street circuits. I don't like this track. And so far, the 2 street circuits we've got 2 third places in Monaco and Valencia. And I would love to get another good podium here. If we can't beat Vettel, then we can't beat Vettel. I'll let him drive off into the sunset. But this is about defending what we have got off the grid on the first lap, 2nd place. Not making a mistake. I'd say the most important thing for us to do is to keep our front wing. If we lose that, even if we damage it, they'll change it in the pit stops, it will take longer, and we'll be screwed. Here we go, first time round's a 1:49.5. Webber's going to get DRS. Grosjean has slipped back down to 9th. That's good news for me. Means I will overtake him in the championship. He's only 2 points ahead. Perez has had a good start. Everyone's really filtered up behind me. And here we go. We need to unleash DRS. Kers, sorry. They're unleashing DRS. And I want Schumacher to try and get a few places. You know, he's not doing brilliantly in the championship. He is 11th with 70-something points, I want to say. You know, 70-something points isn't bad, but 11th, come on, Schumacher. He looks like he's in 8th, defending off Romain Grosjean. Webber's in 3rd. And he's aiming to try and get rid of us. I don't even know if the car was losing control there, but it's just so difficult. Do not like this track. I think I'll flick it into standard, to be honest, because this first session on the options is not the one I'm worried about. The session I'm worried about is where we're on prime tyres, because for me the AI is just too good on primes. When you're on primes and they are on primes, they, on Legend, they'll seem like they're on super softs, and you're on like the hard compound. So we need to save fuel for that, and at the same time be defending from Webber. Look, a few bites of the throttle, just trying to keep the car in a straight line. And Vettel's 3 seconds a lap quicker than us. And I have to say, probably one of my biggest hatreds about this track on this game is like the leaderboard as you come through the first corner. Because it drops down if you're in a train, or if you've got a train behind you like this, and it completely cuts off the apex of the first corner. Which, you know, if you're trying to hit it, is horribly frustrating. I'm trying to keep a good line against Webber, and Raikkonen's going to have some of that. Raikkonen's thinking, thank you very much, I'll get in on this. Webber just about squeezes him behind. If you came here looking for an exciting Grand Prix, you kind of missed the 30 seconds of it at the start. The rest is going to be sheer defensive driving. The yellow flag. Someone has clearly had an accident. Wait, I don't see Grosjean in that train anymore. Grosjean might have tried a suicidal dive on Schumacher, and he has dropped completely out of the points. In fact, I can't even see him on the minimap. Is Grosjean still in the race? There's 23 runners. Someone's out. And Vettel is 11.3 seconds ahead of us as we come to the end of lap 4. Goes to show the pace difference on this track. You know, I'm pretty sure he could go in, have his car cleaned, and still come out ahead of me at this rate twice. I'm taking it so cautiously. I do not want to stuff this in a barrier. I don't want to do anything stupid. Look, we're going slower each lap. Grosjean, yeah, Grosjean is out of the Grand Prix. Well, that's even more incentive for us to finish high up in the points, to really pull away from him in the championship. Only 2 points ahead of us. He's on 102. We are on 100. Mark Webber with his DRS now. Going to be taking a look. He's just not got it quite right on that line behind us through that kink in the straight, and therefore he's dropping back when it comes to being absolutely crucial. And we'll see if the AI tries anything, you know, with trying to hit their cars to get them ahead of me. It wouldn't surprise me. But the bonus is that I have been so slow, I say it like it's an actual bonus, that when they pit, because it's a 37 mile an hour pit lane on Singapore, they'll feed straight back into the midfield and get massively held up. Albeit there are only 2 cars there, they're going to be dueling. And trying to get past 2 cars that are fighting out is going to be a nightmare. I will take my 2nd place, hopefully. We'll see where everything feeds in after pit stops, because I'm coming in on lap 7 for some primes. Don't want to spend too long on them, because the AI just have the edge. As you can see, Sebastian Vettel is long gone. We've got it wrong on the final corner. Horribly wrong. We need to stop attacking that curb.
The car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
Close the gap. The gap's already closed. Can you not see the train behind me, Mr. Race Engineer? This is beyond a joke. Dropping curves. Webber's closer. Webber's really close. He looked at me going into the king. Raikkonen's going to have him. Raikkonen didn't quite get the nose of that Lotus past. As we move on to lap 6. As long as we can keep this position, I would love to split the Red Bulls. I would absolutely love it and claw points back off Webber. I think he's 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, but this would be great for Mercedes. And on a fresh set of rubber, we'll have actual grip again, because our tyres, especially our rears, are not looking good at all. We'll be able to push straight out of the pits. I'm sorry if I'm boring you, is all I have to say during this video. And oh, there goes a bit that we needed.
Your front wing's taken some slight damage. Stay out unless it's...
We needed a perfect front wing, because now our pit stop is going to take a ridiculous amount of time. And Vettel's in. Vettel is in. And a lot of them are feeding in, actually. Continuing on is
prime for your...
Perez. I think that's Perez.
Pit in this lap. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Nope, Webber is still behind us, followed by Perez.
Michael's coming in now. Michael in the pits now.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see how many of them jump me, because let's face it, some of them will. Webber, again, look, he's trying to get past me in the kink, and you line yourself up on the outside, because look, now you've lost out to Perez. And now I have spun it. And that's meant that so many guys are going to filter past me. So many guys. Just dropping that time. I needed a really good in-lap, and I haven't got one.
The car behind has minor front wing damage.
At least I know Perez has got the same thing as me. They're going to have to change his front wing. Because...
remember to pit this lap.
Of me, yes. Look at that understeer. Look at it. Not even funny. This is poor driving. This is extremely poor driving. And I hate the pit lane here, so I'm going to be very slow into it. And here we go. Here we go. And the pit teams are glitched. I've built a lead on them. There goes Vettel. Vettel is through. Come on, give me primes. Give me primes and a new front wing as quick as possible, boys. We need this. That, I don't know who that was that passed us. Someone got ahead. No, wait, we're back past. Charles Peak is up to second position, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Peak And here comes the rest. There is Button. Oh, and we've botched the pit exit. We've botched the pit exit horribly. Can I rewind? I want to rewind. Yes, you can call it noob. That was... Oh dear. I want a decent position. Screw you guys. And Schumacher just tried to pass us. And yes, you can say that was cheap with the flashbacks. But I have something to say. Not caring. We've lost out enough as it is. Schumacher can do a pass here. Why can't Webber? But Button and Bruno Senna of all people, I'm fairly confident Senna still has to pit. Charles Pick's ahead of us as well. So if Senna and Pick still have to pit, that means we'd still be in third. And yes, I can tell loads of you are going to be raging at my use of flashbacks, but I want a good result. I hate this race. I want to get rid of it on the season. I want it gone. I want good points. Yeah, whatever, really. Senna hasn't gone in. Maybe Senna doesn't have to pit, which would be really suckish if he doesn't. There you go, Charles Pick. Charles Pick is in. We're up to fourth then. God, can you imagine if Bruno Senna doesn't have to pit? That would look bad on us. They're all lining each other up for passes. Schumacher, though, has got DRS off of me to defend. And Schumacher. What are you doing distracting me, bro? I thought we had agreed. You know. Multi-21 or multi-87 or multi-78. Whatever, I don't know. Now I'm just making Red Bull jokes. Welcome to the world of bad driving by Psycho Enigma. This is poor now. Raikkonen also appears to have lost out hugely to the Ferrari of Alonso, and I think he probably gained the most because he wasn't really... He was at the back of that pack, so therefore as soon as they were released from behind me, he got the biggest slingshot, I would say. And yes, Senna did have to pit. That's okay. So we are back up to third. We just have to now defend it. Button a 146.1. I guess they've rebalanced the AI since they were so bad in Singapore on 2011. You could beat them with ease on that game. On this, maybe not so much. Lap 10 of the Singapore Grand Prix. Got Michael Schumacher going to be looking to pass us again, and he has got a wonderful drive there, but naturally being later on the brakes. Whoa, Schumi! Know when to give up, man. You almost cost yourself a brilliant fourth place. Just keep that place, okay? Don't attack me and defend yourself. Is all I'm asking. That would be great, Schumacher. Easy boy. Just for once, I would like a bit of team compassion. I would like a teammate to understand my needs. So this is the old guard of Schumacher defending against the charging Spaniard in the prancing horse, Mr. Fernando Alonso. And look at what we've done.
You've taken some slight damage to the front wing. You should be okay to stay out.
I really, really, really hate Singapore. I don't know if I can drill that into everyone. It's just such a horrible track. It's not enjoyable to drive on. If I want to be honest, I don't even enjoy watching the Singapore Grand Prix. I mean, obviously I'll watch it because it's a Formula 1 race, but still. Speaking of which, it's the Spanish Grand Prix qualifying this weekend that I'm recording this. The race going up the weekend I'm recording this is this one, actually. So there we go. Yeah. So tomorrow, I'm recording this on the Saturday, so when it goes up on the Sunday, we will see who does well in the Spanish Grand Prix. Last year, Pastor Maldonado surprised the world with getting pole position after Hamilton was demoted to the back, and he won the race in a great duel with Alonso. You know, it was a popular win, even though he could have just crashed everyone off and he would have still won. And then there was the Williams pit fire, like 90 minutes after the race or something, which was extremely weird. But we'll see if it goes up and down. I was discussing it with someone at work, actually, on who he thinks is going to win. And he's a smart man. I said, if he was a betting man, who would he go for? And he put the smart money on Vettel. You know, because, don't get me wrong, if you're going to bet on Formula 1, the smart money is on Vettel, because the guy's a dick. I mean, in the best car. I surprised him. I said Raikkonen. He's the most consistent man in Formula 1. He's finished the last 25 races in the points, I think. But yeah, he did. Oh no, I'm going to need to double check that statistic, but he's finished the last 25 races or something like that. And he's just good in Spain. Like the Spanish Grand Prix of 2005, where he was massively dominant. Oh, sure, the McLaren was the fastest car that season by a country mile, but he was massively dominant on the Spanish Grand Prix. The only other race where he was so dominant was, there was another race that season where he was dominant. I can't remember which one it was.
To fuel mix mode 2 in the next few...
Oh, we've run ourselves down to optimal already? Jesus. Schumacher with a surge of speed. But 2005 should have been Raikkonen's. I'm going to go out there and say it should have been Raikkonen's third World Championship. Second, sorry. Because I think he should have won it in 2003 with a vastly inferior McLaren. Maybe not as vast as I'm making out, but in a car that really, it was a beefed up version of their 2002 car, because the MP418 wasn't ready. Had a lot of issues. He took the fight to Schumacher to the bitter end, and albeit he had to win in Japan, and Schumacher had to score 1 point to retain the championship. Schumacher got 1 point and Raikkonen came second that day, thanks to an amazing drive from Rubens Barrichello. Probably one of the most underrated drivers in history. And then 2005, Raikkonen was let down by mechanical issues.
Car behind is running standard revs.
Same as 2003, Raikkonen would have easily won the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, but he was about, I don't know, it was about 14-15 seconds over everyone. His engine let go on like the 30th lap. But that was the race fabled for the Montoya and Schumacher crash at the, I can't remember, I think it's called the Sachs curve, or the Dunlop hairpin, something along those lines I want to say. I'd say that the Nürburgring GP track is one of the better ones. You know, I don't see why they can't hold that as the European Grand Prix and still hold the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheimring. Okay, So, while I've been talking, we're on lap 13. We're still as botch crazy as always. Look at the train behind us. If we are to spin out, we're screwed. It is all that can be said on the matter. We are out of the points, out of contention, out of everything. Might as well be out of life. But I'm pro Raikkonen. Raikkonen is, I'm going to say, he's my favourite what's the word I'm looking for? Non-English or non-like UK driver. And I have to say, I'm Team Button. Because not a big fan of Hamilton. Not a big fan of Hamilton at all. I will admit he's one of the better drivers in the sport. I just don't like his personality. Hamilton the driver is good. I can appreciate Hamilton the driver, but Hamilton the person, it's a lot like with Alonso and Vettel, and this is what I don't get. I would say the three best drivers. Actually, no. Yeah, no, the three best drivers I'm going to go out and say. Alonso, Vettel, and Hamilton. As drivers, appreciate them to hell. They are fantastic to watch. But as people, I just don't like them. Alonso is like, oh, Ferrari's my team. End of. This is what we do. And I'm not going to speak in English. Which actually is a smart tactical choice until they introduce subtitles. And Vettel is a crybaby. A whiny crybaby. That's all that has to be said on the matter. Hamilton just, I'm not sure what it is with Hamilton. He just doesn't seem to care.
You've got to leave room for other cars. We can't take too many penalties.
Whereas Button's, you know, Button, I think this Button and Perez duo of this season, the 2013 season, is going to be good. It's like a mentor-student thing. I'm sure Button didn't like Perez being a bit over-aggressive in Bahrain, but Perez admitted he was being a bit over-aggressive, and he scored some good points for McLaren. He got 6th, which doesn't sound like much, but considering where they've been most of the year, I would take a 6th. Schumacher really needs to get off my gearbox. I don't know. I've discussed the last quarter of this race about the F1 2013 season. It's shaping up to be interesting. McLaren are getting there slowly. Raikkonen, I would say he's the dark horse for the championship. I'm going to go out and say I thought it last year, and he was. He finished 3rd after winning one race. He kind of just snuck in there like, hi, don't forget about me. You know, I was out of the sport for a year, but I'm just as good as everyone else. Or a few years, actually. Okay, so we crossed the line. There's one lap to go. Button has pulled 25 seconds on us since the pit stop, and you know what? I really don't give a rat's arse. After 2 flashbacks, really poor driving, we could be looking at 3rd place. As long as this lap goes to plan. Which it should do, I'm hoping. Here comes Schumacher again. Oh, and Alonso has decided to make the mistake. I knew there was going to be someone in that train. It's allowed Webber through. I was actually kind of hoping Alonso would keep Webber behind him, because albeit they're both ahead of me in the championship, taking points out of Webber would have been more profitable than taking points out of Alonso. So Vettel will either gain or extend his lead in the Drivers' Championship. I can't exactly remember where he is at this time. And we are going to be waiting a long, long time. We're in the final sector. We're going to bring this home. I say it like it's heroic, but it's really not. It's been pitiful, this race. But it's going to be a 3-4 finish for the Mercedes team. That's a lot of points. I will take third on this track. I will take it. It was above target. Schumacher fourth. Grosjean did not finish. So we have taken 15 points out of Romain Grosjean, and we continue our streak on racetracks. Third street circuit. Third place. Perez in the end got lost in the melee. Daniel Ricciardo gets his second point for Toro Rosso. He got barely any when I drove for him. He's got barely any since I left them as well. Raikkonen got 9th in the end. Hamilton came 7th. In the end, Vettel was too much for everyone today. And my lap times were so poor, there were even Caterhams going quicker than me. De Resta didn't finish in the end as well. So let's see what that does for the championship. We've overtaken Grosjean and we've built a 13-point lead on him. We are tied with Lewis Hamilton for 5th position. Vettel does extend his lead. He is on 190 points. We're on 115. We've got a 75-point deficit. We've lost another 10 points. If we can pass Hamilton, we can start our assault on the guys ahead. Grosjean doesn't lose anyone else. He's now got Sergio Perez chasing behind him. Schumacher up to 9th in the championship. Constructors, we are 5th. We have did we pass Sauber? I'm sure we would have just overtaken Sauber with that result. And we are closing in on Lotus. So, really quite a poor weekend if I'm honest. Not too pleased with it myself. But I would like to thank everyone for watching round 14. I am Psycho Enigma, and I have no idea what the next race is, but I'll see you in a week for it. Take care, everyone.